Cheating scandal in one of the largest law enforcement agencies in our area. It's a case even the man in charge did not know about until we told him. Contact 5 investigator Dan Krauth has uncovered a ring of dishonesty that reaches far beyond the dispatch center. Dan?
Michael, two sheriffs are speaking out tonight about what we uncovered. The current sheriff and also the former sheriff of Martin County. It's a cheating scandal that should have reached top law enforcement officials in Tallahassee, but didn't. Cheating.
Does anybody hear me?
You've heard about it in a classroom.
Would you like to meet with a deputy?
But what about a 911 dispatch center?
Were you paid to do this or anything? So you just did it as a personal favor to these people? Were they present when you took the test?
Some of them were.
So you say that you were cleared, but you on tape admitted to cheating.
Really, I have nothing to say to you, so.
She did talk to investigators.
I just thought other people were doing it, so I didn't think it was that big a deal.
Was this a big deal to you?
Well, anytime there's a lapse of integrity, it's a big deal to me.
Records show it involves some of the county's top deputies.
It's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing.
Were you aware of this incident that took place in the past?
No, I heard it first from your news organization.
Every 2 years, dispatchers and deputies across the state are required to take an online exam.
It's a good test just to make sure they understand the rules of the road.
Back in 2009, when a Martin County dispatcher failed her test, she sent this text message to her boss stating why. A supervisor usually took the test for her.
At this time, I'm going to place you under oath.
It's something that supervisor, Rebecca Timmons, admitted to during a recorded interview.
Have you done that?
Yes, I did it. I admitted that I'm sorry for doing it and that will never happen again.
She admitted to taking the test for not only another dispatcher.
Who did you take exams for?
Several of the deputies, sergeants.
11 other law enforcement officials. An internal investigation backed up the claims. Records show the actions violated department policy and state law.
I'm the one where the buck stops, as they say.
Former Sheriff Robert Crowder was the man in charge. Who do you think should have been punished?
When someone in this business shows a lack of integrity, they don't need to be working with us anymore.
For the dispatcher or the deputies as well?
As far as I'm concerned, both.
That didn't happen. The dispatcher involved received her test certification along with the 11 other deputies and sergeants involved, but none of them received any type of formal punishment, not even a written reprimand. How can a case just go closed without any punishment?
I did not take it to task because I was not aware that it was being overlooked that way.
You knew the investigation was taking place, but there was no follow-up. You never asked, hey, what happened to those deputies involved? What happened to that dispatcher
Well, I was
involved?
told it had been handled, and with everything else that was going on, I didn't take it upon myself, and obviously looking back, I probably should have.
Not only was the case closed early, it wasn't reported to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement as required. It's their test. Why wasn't this case reported to FDLE?
That I don't know, because in our procedures it should have been reported.
After the investigation, dispatcher Timmons resigned, only to be rehired 4 months later. Her reemployment screening shows she had a clean record, so there was no reason not to hire her back.
I'm personally disappointed.
Sheriff Snyder wasn't with the department when it happened, but he is the boss now. Knowing what you know now about these workers, would you hire them?
I would not hire somebody who I could not believe in to be an outstanding and upstanding employee with a good moral character.
Can you trust these employees now knowing what they were accused of in the past?
In total, the big picture, these are good employees, and I feel comfortable with them being here.
The tests now have to be taken on this computer that's monitored at the front of the dispatch room. What do you have to say to people when they hear about this who may be concerned about the integrity of the law enforcement officials who are still employed today?
I'm confident that they learned and they will not repeat this kind of action again. But how do I convince anyone else about that? So I just have to understand that people are going to feel the way they feel about this, and at this point there's not much I can do about that.
No discipline or charges can be filed now because the statute of limitations has run out.
Dan, talk more about the importance of the test and what they test for here.
Well, law enforcement workers use an online database pretty much every day to look up everything from fingerprints to running criminal background checks. FDLE tells me it's complicated and the information changes on a regular basis, so they test the workers every 2 years to make sure they know what they're doing.